Ladies and gentlemen, before we start, let's put our hands together for the Pine Ridge Middle School Symphonic Band and the band director, Kelly Parker. Let's not forget the Collier County Veterans Council Board of Directors and all the Collier County JOTC program cadets, scouts who worked so hard to put this together. Give them a round of applause, please. Welcome to today's ceremony, and we thank you for attending. My name is William Carl. I'm the president of the Collier County Veterans Council. We're here to honor our fallen service members and to remember the sacrifices they have made, and remember their achievements, courage, and dedication to say thank you. The service members we honor came from all walks of life, but they shared several fundamental qualities. They possessed courage, pride, determination, selflessness, dedication to duty, and integrity, all the qualities needed for a cause much larger than oneself. The idea for the Memorial Day originated, called Decoration Day, arose from the ashes of the Civil War. Following the Civil War, at least 620,000 Americans, both Union and Confederate, had been killed through the course of war. Although the different versions on how Memorial Day began, one story goes that the grieving families, both North and Southern, began decorating graves of their lost soldiers with flowers and wreaths. These informal honors led to the first formal Memorial Day observance in Waterloo, New York on May 5th, 1866. Congress officially recognized Memorial Day as a federal holiday in 1887. Since then, each year, we've continued to honor our troops. I would like to introduce Captain Torrey Sorrells, U.S. Army, to give the reading of General Order 11 that made Memorial Day ceremonies possible across this country.
The 30th day of May, 1868, is designated for the purpose of strewing with flowers or otherwise decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country during the late rebellion, and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet churchyard in the land. In this observance, no form or ceremony is prescribed, but posts and comrades will in their own way arrange such fitting services and testimonies of respect as circumstances may permit. We are organized, comrades, as our regulations tell us, for the purpose, among other things, of preserving and strengthening those kind and fraternal feelings which have bound together the soldiers, sailors, and Marines who unified to suppress the late rebellion. What can aid more to assure this result than by cherishing tenderly the memory of our heroic dead who made their breast a barricade between our country and its foes. Their soldier lives were the reveille of freedom to erase in the chains of their death the tattoo of rebellious tyranny in arms. We should guard their graves with sacred vigilance. All that the consecrated wealth and taste of the nation can add to their adornment and security is but a fitting tribute to the memory of her slain defenders. Let no wanton foot tread rudely on such hallowed grounds. Let pleasant paths invite the coming and going of reverent visitors and found mourners. Let no vandalism of errors or neglect, no ravages of time testify to the present or to the coming generations that we have forgotten. As a people, the cost of a free and undivided republic. If other eyes grow dull, and other hands slack, and other hearts cold, in the solemn trust, ours shall keep it well as long as the light and the warmth of life remain. remains in us. Let us then, at the time appointed, gather around their sacred remains, and garland and passionless mounds above them with the choicest of flowers of springtime. Let us rise above the dear old flag they saved from our dishonor. Let us in the solemn presence renew our pledges to aid and assist those whom they have left among us as a sacred charge upon the nation's gratitude, the soldiers and the sailor's widow and orphan. It is the purpose of the Commander-in-Chief to inaugurate this observance with the hope that it will be kept up from year to year while a survivor of the war remains to honor the memory of his departed comrades. He earnestly desires the public press to call attention to this order and lend it friendly aid in bringing it to the notice of comrades in all parts of the country in time for simultaneous compliance therewithin. Department commanders will use every effort to make this order effective. By command of John A. Logan, Commander-in-Chief.
At this time, I'd like to ask every service member and veteran who are with us here today to please stand up. Every veteran that's with us today to please stand up. We thank you for answering the call to duty. You are to make our armed forces the most respected in the world. Thank you. May we have a seat? Now, could all the family members of anyone who has served, whether that service member was a grandfather, a grandmother, a mother, a father, a husband, a wife, a son, a daughter, an uncle, an aunt, or a cousin, to please stand? And that should be about everything. We know you have lived through difficult times and often taken the heavy load to the home fires burning. So we thank you all for that. At this time, we're going to be playing all the different branches of service, the music. So if you're here and you hear your branch of service, please stand. United States Army, please stand. United States Coast Guard, please stand. United States Air Force, please stand. Good job. All right. Very well done. Today, people throughout our country will gather together to remember the honor, to pay gratitude to those who have served our country. It's not a lot, but in one small way, we can honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice so they can live in freedom. Today is very special. Civil Air Patrol pilot Major Jessica Stearns, U.S. Air Force veteran, during the ceremony will be flying overhead at 11 o'clock, coming to the east to the west in her vintage World War II 1945 Piper J3, in respects to those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. With a wag of the wing of the plane to signify away from those fallen, we'll start the ascent into the sky, traditionally known as the spirits of our fallen soldiers, airmen, sailors, as they rise to Heaven's Gate. So I'll thank her when she goes by at 11 o'clock. From the soldiers who shivered and starved through the winter of Valley Forge, to the doughboys crouched in the muddy trenches of France, to the platoons that patrolled the hazy jungles of Vietnam, and the young men and women patrolling the mountains of Afghanistan, we remember and honor them all. Air Force First Class Jordan Tompkins, Sergeant Curry, and all veteran organizations, mass and post colors. Everyone, please stand.
Forward! Reset! Huh! Order! Huh! Return! Return. Left! East! Forward! Huh!
Let us welcome Senior Pastor Donald Trigone from the Faith Lutheran Church to lead us with the invocation.
We join together in prayer. Loving God of all nations, from sea to shining sea, you have truly blessed us with this land of beauty, place of possibility, and a hope for tomorrow. Let us each in our prayers make that into action. Let our remembrance of this Memorial Day challenge us to reach out to veterans and their families in gratitude, love, and support. Let us live in gratitude, working for the values for which our servicemen and women have sacrificed even their lives for. liberty and justice for all, freedom from fear, the ability to support the American dream, to worship freely, and be thankful for those who gave their lives to make these things possible. Remembering those who have fallen, let us commit ourselves to peace. We ask God to continue to bless and protect the United States of America and those who defend her today. Amen.
Amen. Collier County Sheriff's Office Color Guard presentation of colors.
Honor guard, attention! Shoulder, hop! Forward, hop! Honor guard, halt! Left, face! Freeze and halt!
Scouts of America, Alligator District will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a brief prayer, vocalist with the national anthem.
Will everyone please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Scouts salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Two.
And you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed, and the twilight's last gleaming whose but stars and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets red glare, the thirsty air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er
everyone could please take a seat. At this time, I'm adding a few names of the service members who are not with us today in the physical way, but in spirit, as I feel it's relevant to today's ceremony. Please remain silent during the Staff Sergeant J.D. Holmes, U.S. Air Force, Commander of the VFW Post 7721, reads the names, while George Swanson, U.S. Army Korean War combat veteran, rings and tolls the bell for the American Legion Post 135.
Earl Hodges, United States Merchant Marine, World War II and Korean War. Raymond Benjamin Simmons, Staff Sergeant, United States Air Force, World War II. Wilbert H. Beck, Sergeant, United States Army Air Corps, World War II. Bob McDonald, Sergeant, United States Army Air Corps, World War II. Armand Blanchette, United States Navy, World War II. Ronald Cook, Petty Officer, United States Navy, World War II. William Hale, Colonel, United States Army, World War II, D-Day. Lawrence O'Day, Corporal, United States Army, MIA, Korean War. Tim Timrud, Master Sergeant, United States Marine, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Anthony Joseph Maine, United States Army, Korean War. Arthur James Neal, United States Marine, Korean War. Raymond Golzani, Lance Corporal, United States Marine, Vietnam. James Davis, Petty Officer, United States Navy, Vietnam. Larry James Linedecker, Seaman, U.S. Navy, Vietnam. Jim Elson, Captain, U.S. Army. Robert Earl Carl, United States Marines Reconnaissance, Operation Desert Storm. Joseph Anthony Anastasio, First Sergeant, United States Army. Robert Louis Cruz, Sergeant, United States Army. Jasmeet Paul Singh Dang, Specialist First Class, United States Army, Operation Iraqi Freedom. Daniel Eggers, Captain, United States Army, Operation Enduring Freedom. Michael Helper, Petty Officer, United States Navy. Shane Duffy, Staff Sergeant, United States Operation Iraqi Freedom. Andrew Pearson, Captain, United States Army, Operation Iraqi Freedom. Mark Anthony Gioldo, Staff Sergeant, United States Army, Operation Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom. Brandon Gordon, Specialist First Class, United States Army, Operation Enduring Freedom. Stephen Taylor Hayes, Specialist First Class, United States Army, Operation Enduring Freedom. Anthony Ruiz, Lance Corporal, United States Marine. Anthony Carlos Ruiz, Sergeant, United States Army, Operation Iraqi Freedom. Jeffrey Rabito, Private, First Class, United States Army. Please remain silent for a moment of prayer. This list grows daily, so I cannot mention them all. If you can please take the time after the ceremony any military service member, Hodges Memorial staff will be happy to help you locate them.
We have a few special guests who are with us here today. We have the Gold Star Mothers of Southwest Florida and family members. We have the ladies of St. Matthew's House. We have Michael Bensing of Veterans Mentoring Veterans. We have the Daughters of the American Revolution Big Cypress Chapter. We have Wayne Smith, Vietnam, prisoner of war, and Lois Boland, Spirit of 45, and Veterans Military Alliance. We have Alan and Debbie Silva with Jerry Sanford, the Gulf Coast veteran and friend. We have so many special guests with us today. I cannot add them all to the list, but they are most important guests of all is you. That is the most important guest. Everybody attending this service today is very special in this chief's eye, and I thank you. Let's all welcome Corporal Ted Moore, United States Marine Corps veteran, for the reading meaning of the Prisoner of War Missing in Action table. And following the reading, if the bagpiper is here, Ashley Elizabeth will be playing Amazing Grace.
The table that stands before you is a place of honor. In setting this table, we acknowledge those missing from our celebration today, and we remember them. In recent years, the ceremony has been performed in conjunction with Veterans Day and Memorial Day services, as we are doing today. The practice of the missing man table has evolved over time and is not currently governed by any U.S. Department of Defense or service-specific guidance. The meaning of the POW MIA table before you is the table is set for one, is small, and symbolizes the frailty of one isolated prisoner. The table is round to represent the everlasting concern on the part of the survivors for their missing loved ones. The tablecloth is white, symbolic of the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. The single red rose in the vase signifies the blood that many have shed in sacrifice to ensure the freedom of our beloved United States of America. The rose also reminds us of the family and friends of our missing comrades who keep the faith while waiting their return. The red ribbon represents the love of our country, which inspired them to answer the nation's call. The slice of lemon on the bread plate represents the bitter fate of the missing. The salt sprinkled on the bread plate, symbolic of the countless fallen tears of families as they wait. The inverted glass represents the fact that missing and fallen cannot partake. The Bible represents the spiritual strength and faith to sustain those lost from our country. The burning candle, reminiscent of the light of hope which lives in our hearts to illuminate their way home, away from their captors, to the open arms of a grateful nation, symbolizing everlasting hope of a reunion with the missing. All those who have served alongside them, those who have donned the same proud uniform, being sworn to the same faith and allegiance. The empty chair represents the missing and the fallen who aren't present. We will never forget their sacrifice until the day they return home or find eternal peace. We will remember.
Our bagpiper is not here with us today because of other obligations that she had to commit to. She was hoping to get here in time, but thank goodness Reed Bear says she will take it and sing the Amazing Grace, and if everyone could sing along with her, that would be great.
Amazing grace, how sweet
do the introduction to our keynote speaker. First Sergeant Joseph Bear, U.S. Army, retired, born and raised in Naples, North Carolina, entered the Army shortly after graduating from high school. Served 20 years on active duty with combat tours in Operation Desert Storm and Operation Iraqi Freedom. Army military awards include the Senior Air Crew Member Badge, Drill Sergeant Badge, Air Medal, Meritorious Service Medal, and the Bronze Star. After retirement, he decided to return to school to pursue his Juris Doctorate degree. He is currently in his final year at Law School of Ave Maria School of Law, and he is in the top 10% of his class with a GPA of 3.67. Please give him a warm welcome.
Thank you. Thank you to all our special guests for being here, but most of all to the families of those who have given the last full measure of devotion. Today is for you. In the 15th chapter of John, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ tells us that no greater love hath anyone than he would lay down his life for another. Today we remember such men and women. Service members join the service for many different reasons. The service members fight for each other. Two such men were Master Sergeant Gary Gordon and Sergeant First Class Randy Shugart. In October of 1993, when a Black Hawk helicopter went down in the middle of Mogadishu, Somalia, they asked to go in an attempt to save whoever may still be alive in that helicopter. The request was denied because the situation was too dangerous. But they kept asking until their superiors gave in and allowed them to be inserted. They asked to be inserted not because they had some death wish or some overblown sense of their own power or ability to save the situation. They asked and they continued to ask because they knew, as slim as their chances may be, that they were the only chance for whoever was in that helicopter. Both of these men were posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor for their bravery that day. Today we honor all of those who faced the danger and stood in the gap, knowing the risk and accepting the cost. But we also honor the families that they left behind. James, the brother of Jesus, tells us that religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress. I believe that every service member's life verse, whether they know it or not, is Isaiah 6:8. It says, I heard the voice of the Lord saying, who shall I send, and who will go for us? And I said, here am I, send me. Service members who have gone in harm's way and the family members who have sent them off and anxiously awaited for their return all know it is easier to go than to send. In 2003, as a Sergeant First Class Platoon Sergeant with the 101st going into Iraq, one of my duties was to lead maintenance and resupply convoys through cities like Kirkuk, Baghdad, and Mosul, and later to lead security teams for officers of my unit as we began the process of working with local leaders to rebuild. In 2007, as a first sergeant, as my unit prepared to return to Iraq, by this time IEDs, roadside bombs, and attacks on convoys were commonplace. And it would not be my job to lead those convoys, but it was my duty to select and train the men and women who would go for us. One of the hardest decisions of my military career was to select Sergeant First Class James McLeod to lead those security teams. Not because Sergeant McLeod wasn't qualified or ready, but because just given birth to their first son, a boy barely 2 months older than my own son, a boy that would turn 1 just a few weeks before the company deployed. I'll never forget Sergeant McLeod's response when I told him that I had to put him in this dangerous position. He said if I hadn't, he'd fight you for it. He never shied away. And I thank God that I can say that Sergeant McLeod and all the soldiers that he led made it back from those convoys, and he made it home in time for Tom's 2nd birthday. But I can tell you from that, even now, it is easier to go than to send. So to all the families who have sent and not received back, thank you. Today is for you. God bless you, and God bless America.
Proud of you, Joe. Thank you. I'm requesting right now that our 2017 winner, Pastor Treglone, with the 2018 winner, Kitty Yoke of the Homer Hilton Patriot Award with the Collier County Veterans Council Board of Directors to make a line right in front of the podium right here so we can congratulate this year's 2019 winner of the Homer Hilton Patriotic Award. So, it's a lead. So, Kitty, you can come up, hold your shirt. However you want to make a line, just make a line. You don't have to. The Collier County's Veteran Council requested that we recognize those civilians who take the time to honor the veterans living in the past. So I emailed different veteran groups and organizations, asked, who do you know that would deserve such an award, the Civilian Patriot Award? Please send me a name and a reason why. As I did this for the last 2 years, we had an overwhelming response for one name stood out above all others. I did not tell the person about the award, so at this very moment, it will be a surprise. Here's a brief summary why the award is given to this year's recipient. The award recipient makes it part of life to attend many different functions to help in the background from the Collier County Honor Flight, the Veterans Military Alliance, the Red, White, and Blue Project, the 4th of July Parade, the Veterans Council Photographer, the Gulf Coast Veterans and Friends, and many more events. A person who takes time on social media to post many of those who paid the ultimate sacrifice so we never forget them. Please stand and give a warm round of applause to this year's winner of the Homer Hilter's Patriotic Civilian Award, our very own Heather Corris. She was asked here to come today to take pictures, so she's really in shock right now. Airborne! Everyone should take a seat. Let us all give a warm welcome to Danielle E. Tompkins, vocalist, who will be singing "Heaven Was Needing a Hero."
Red shirt, navy hat on. Yeah. He's going to put the monument, Golden Gate, under the money there. Yeah. Fireman.
I had to let you know. never let go. Spent so many wait nights wondering, lying down, just asking why. Always been told, won't be called till it's your time. I guess heaven was needing a hero, somebody just like you. Brave enough to stand up, what you need, follow it through. Oh, I tried to make it make sense in my mind. The only conclusion I come to is heaven was needing a hero like you. I remember the last time I saw you. You held your head up proud. Laughed inside when I saw how you were standing out in the crowd. Spent so many wait nights wondering, lying in the dark, just asking why. Always been told, won't be called till it's your time. I guess heaven was needing a hero, somebody just like you. Brave enough to stand up, what you believe, and follow it through. Oh, I tried to make it make sense in my mind. The only conclusion I come to is heaven was needing a hero like you. Heaven was needing a hero that's you.
Wow, that was very well put. And the funny thing about it is, right now we're going to have her husband come up here for a heartfelt tribute to with Airman First Class Jordan Tompkins, Captain Torrey Sorrells, Command Sergeant Major Jim Birch, for the reading of the Fallen Soldier.
Oh, don't wait for me, the land of the free. When it was time for me to fall, it was my country's call. It was the land that I loved, that I gave my all. The land I loved, I did freely give. In her freedom and her courage, I will continue to live. I will never have what others have. It was never meant to be. but I made a sacrifice for the call of liberty. You have your normal lives to live, and that's the way it should be. And when you have some neutral time, please pause and think of me.
So welcome Captain James Albert, Command Sergeant Major Jim Birch, Staff Sergeant J.D. Holmes, Sergeant Kerr, to please take a position for reading in honor of 13 folds. Today, 2 flags will be presented by Lieutenant Colonel Paul Garrard, United States Army, along with 5 branches of military service and uniform, honoring the passing of Bob McDonald, World War II, U.S. Army Corps veteran, May 4th, 2019, and Anthony Carlos Ruiz, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Sergeant, U.S. Army, May 23rd, 2019.
Right. Who? Mark time. Who? Bud. Halt. Center. Hey. Forward. Who? Halt. Unfold. Unfold. Woo. Unfold. Who? Hey, Bob. Who? Present. Who? Hey, Bob. Who? Hold what? Hold 2.
The meaning of the 13 folds of the American flag. The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold signifies our belief in eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and tribute of the veteran departing our ranks and who gave a portion of his or her life for the defense of our country to attain peace. The fourth fold exemplifies our weaker nature. As citizens trusting in God, it is to Him we turn for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is an acknowledgement to our country. For the words of Stephen Decatur, our country, in dealing with other countries, may she always be right. But it is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is for where our hearts lie. It is with our hearts that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is tribute to our armed forces. For it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all enemies. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that we might see the light of day, and to honor our mother, for whom it flies on Mother's Day. The ninth fold is an honor to womanhood, for it has been through their faith, their love, their loyalty, and devotion that the character of the men and women who have made this country great have been molded. The tenfold is a tribute to the father, for he too has given his sons and daughters for the defense of our country since he or she was born. The 11th fold, in the eyes of the Hebrew citizen, represents the lower portion of the seal of King David and King Solomon, and glorifies in their eyes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold, in the eyes of the Christian citizen, represents an emblem of eternity, and glorifies in their eyes God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And the 13th fold, when the flag is completely folded, the stars are uppermost, reminding us that our national motto is, in God we trust.
Present. Ho! What up? Ho! Present. Ho! What up? Ho! Forward. Hey! Forward. Ho!
And on behalf of the Collier County Veterans Council and a very, very grateful nation, these two flags will be presented by Lieutenant Colonel Paul Garrett, U.S. Army retired, along with 5 military branches of service in uniform, honoring the passing of our beloved Sergeant Bob McDonald, World War II U.S. Army Air Corps veteran and our bugler, on May 4th, 2019, and to a brave Operation Iraqi soldier, Anthony Carlos Reeves, Sergeant of the U.S. Army, on 23 May 2019.
Perfect file right here.
Present. Ho! Hold up. Ho! Forward. Ho! Hey. Hey. Forward. Ho!
To the Ruiz and the McDonald families that are here with us today, God bless you all. We have our prayers with you and your families at this time of need. That flyover was perfectly done. at the time that you guys were getting the flags. So it was beautiful that Major Stearns did that for us and did it for your families and for their guidance family. Thank you. We will now give the presentation of the two memorial wreaths as it represents all wars posted by Veteran Service Office Irene Johnson, U.S. Air Force, with Captain James Albert, U.S. Merchant Marines, and U.S. Navy veteran. The second wreath will be done for our MIA and POW posted by Captain Wayne Smith, U.S. Air Force, Vietnam prisoner of war, with Heather Course, the grandniece of Corporal Lance O'Day, U.S. Army, missing in action, Korean War, as the Pine Ridge Middle School Symphonic Band plays. The wars represented today that are following is the American Revolution, the Seminole War of the Mexican War, the Civil War, the U.S. Cavalry Indian Wars, World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War. This is a very touching part of the program. For the last 15 years, Bob McDonald, U.S. Sergeant of the U.S. Army, World War II bugler, would play at every event ceremony for the Veterans Council. I met Bob at Homer Hilter's Antique Store in 2005 when I returned from Iraq, and we both hit it off from the start. 4 years ago, I became president of the Veterans Council and was honored to hear him play his bugle. At the age of 95, May 4th, 2019, Bob, our beloved friend and brother, now plays his trusty bugle at the Lord's Gate. The week before Bob passed, he called me and said these words to me. "Hello, Chief. I'm sorry, but I cannot play at this year's Memorial Day. I'm not feeling well." I responded and told him, can we put the mic back on? Thank you. I responded and told him not to worry. I will find someone to carry out for you. Just take care of yourself, my friend, and I will see you soon. And he said, "Okay, Carl, I know you will have a great Memorial Day, but I have to lay down now. Bye-bye. When I hung up the phone, it occurred to me I would not see him soon, but he just gave me his blessing to find a bugler. Just like that, Bob blessed us with a very special gift, and we did find someone to keep the spirit of the bugler alive. So let's all give a warm welcome to Kristen Vetrano, a bugler of Pine Ridge Middle School Symphonic Band and Scouts, who will be playing taps after the rifle salute performed by the VFW Post 7721 Ritual Rifle Team.
Party, ready.
Senior Pastor Donald Fredwell, Faith Lutheran Church, will you give the benediction?
Receive now the Lord's benediction. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious unto you. The Lord look upon you with his favor and grant you his peace. May our loved ones always rest in that peace. Amen.
Everyone could please be seated. Our bagpiper has made it here today, and I'm going to have her play something for us. God bless you. Go ahead and take a seat. In conclusion to today's ceremony, I am proud of the Veteran Council members and the various groups and organizations who gave a lot of their valued time and contributions in respect to this ceremony. I would like everybody to turn to the last page of the flyer and look over the special thanks area. All volunteers that have worked hard to get this service out there to the public. I want to make a couple of honorable mentions before we close. We thank Hodges Funeral Home, Naples Memorial Gardens for keeping this tradition alive and well. And the Civil Air Patrol pilot, Major Jessica Stearns, in her vintage World War II 1945 Piper J3 for the heartfelt flyby. After the event is a barbecue, which has been part of the tradition for the last 6 years in memory of Ronald E. Cook, World War II Navy veteran whose family will always remember and never forget. I hope you'll give prayer to the McDonald family and the Ruiz family at their time of loss, and for those soldiers, sailors, airmen who paid the ultimate sacrifice for the freedom of our country. Let's now go in peace, enjoy the freedoms that our fallen heroes have provided for us. Mark your calendars because you're all invited to attend National Flag Day weekend ceremony Saturday, June 15th at the Fred W. Coyle Freedom Park, 1515 Golden Gate Parkway, Naples, Florida at 9 a.m. Thank you for attending. God bless you. God bless your families. God bless our troops. And God bless America.